Welcome back to another episode of DEC Does What. I'm Sean Mahar along with
Erica Ringwald.
And before we get to our awesome episode of the day, Erica, we have to celebrate something awesome, don't we?
We do.
It is. We are an award-winning podcast.
Quite amazing.
Can you imagine that? Did
No.
you ever think in your dream of dreams that we would win an award for this show?
Not on my list,
Well, we would like to thank the Association for Conservation Information for the recognition of the show and to add another listener outside of my mom to the show. So ACI.
Pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. But it's awesome. It's, I think a testament to what we set out to do with this show, right?
Yes.
We really shine a light on DEC in a very positive way, and that's really what ACI picked up on in this recognition. So thanks, ACI.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to DEC and coming to work for us, we thought it would be good to venture into the people behind the scenes who really help make our employees feel welcome here at DEC. So, Erica, who do we have on the show today?
We've got Natalie Joseph. She's an HR specialist with the Division of Human Resources, and Alan Ilagan. He's the Associate Director of Human Resources.
Natalie, Alan, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Congratulations on the bronze.
Oh, thank you very much. You can be here to celebrate with us today, which is perfect. So, in speaking of celebrating DEC, you two are really on the front lines of helping to recruit the next generation of folks coming into the workforce here. Yeah. So, why is DEC such an amazing place to work, and how do you go about really recruiting that talent that we need to succeed here?
Yeah, I think DEC is a great place to work. I mean, a lot of people come to our agency and they think of environmental conservation. They automatically think, oh, we got to be working in the field, but there's more to just that with our agency. There's definitely a job for everyone here. And even with human resources, our goal isn't just, looking for employment, but we're also really specializing in helping employees and recruitment and retention and really getting them to know about the environment, especially if that's what their background field is in.
It's also, on a broader sense, to work for the state has a lot of benefits that people don't often think about. There's a lifestyle you get with the state. There's a sense of stability, all the health benefits, the health insurance, the retirement. It all feeds into a good environment to have, particularly at this time when jobs are getting harder and harder to find.
And we have a lot of openings and opportunities for people to come in and help fill those positions that we need right now.
We definitely do.
So how do people go about finding out about what those opportunities are, and how do you help show them the way?
We have a recruitment work group that reaches out and does job fairs, visits schools, and sets up, is it bi-monthly now? Meeting?
Yep, we have a bi-monthly meeting. We meet virtually on WebEx, so it's mostly majority of all of our administrative specialists here with the agency throughout 9 regions that we have here, and more welcome to join. I also facilitate all of our onboarding for our new employees here in central office, so I always like to mention a recruitment work group in case they're interested in joining, and we just talk about all the initiatives we can do for our agency, any upcoming career fairs that we have, any outreach events that are great, and we always like to just really hype up the agency as a whole and get people to join, especially the younger generation.
And we also post jobs weekly. So if you go to our website, every week the job postings are updated with current openings.
That's dec.ny.gov.
Yes,
correct.
So I know that the commissioner is really interested in sort of expanding our reach to interest more people in careers at DEC. Can you tell us a little bit, are we doing more in specific parts of the state? Are we reaching out to different colleges than we typically do? I know SUNY ESF is a pipeline to DEC.
As we've heard on the show a bunch.
So what are some of the other new and different things that we're doing?
We are currently pushing our exams for the Environmental Conservation Police Officer and Forest Ranger, which actually were just announced, and the deadline to apply for those positions is September 17th. And I know that DEC, our divisions of law enforcement and forest protection, have worked with, I believe they worked with the Department of Labor and Civil Service to create a few great videos that are currently up.
Oh, yeah, those are cool.
Yes, they interviewed them. They went out in the field, got to see what everyone's doing in person, and they're going to be pushing that in the next few weeks.
What is so we have a lot of these public sort of engagement events and recruitment. What are sort of the fun things that you guys do when we go to those? How do you get people to come over to our table?
I think with our tables, we started doing go kits for our recruitment. So a lot of employees that go to these events, they don't really know what to bring with them. We don't really have like the fun materials that some agencies may have, especially
What
in
are
the
you
private
talking
sector.
about? We have so many fun things that
I mean,
I've
I
seen.
think we have the best employees.
Our
That's the great
tchotchke
thing.
budget is maybe a little less than
think
some
we
of
have
I
the.
think we have the best
We have a mallard,
personalities.
right?
Yeah. So we have our nice
Mallard.
banner ups that we created. We have go kits that we like to bring for staff for everyone. And a lot of people, like I said, when they think of DEC, they think of just going out in the environment. But there's a lot of jobs that are here at the agency, and anyone with all different, backgrounds, whether it's communications, business. I'm a business major, and I'm working here at DEC. Administrative roles, biology. So there's really a field for everyone at DEC.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Sometimes you'll think, oh, DEC, do I have to be in the field? Do I just have to be a biologist or environmental engineer? And there's so many more titles. There's our whole law office.
Yep.
Lawyers come work here. There's the communication, education, and engagement office. If you're interested in social media or public outreach, that's an option. And there's our human resources and management and budget office where we talk about the humans who work for us and the fiscal side of things.
Well, we're talking to Natalie Joseph and Alan Ilagan here on DEC Does What. We're going to take a short break and come back and learn more about the roles that they play here in the Agency of Recruiting the Next Generation.
Interested in a career in law enforcement? Want to help protect the environment, natural resources, and public safety? Good news! DEC is looking for new environmental conservation officers and forest ranger recruits. Sign up for the entry-level law enforcement exam today by visiting www.cs.ny.gov/police. The application deadline is September 17th, 2025. The exam will be held on November 1st.
So, Alan, coming out of the break here, I know you mentioned you have a mallard on the table. I think we're going to have to get you a loon in honor of this show to now bring with you wherever you go out
If
and
you've
about.
got a loon, we'll use it.
Awesome. Well, we will give you that. But as you do these recruitment fairs, as you're out there talking to people, what's your sales pitch? Like, how do you explain this agency to folks? And what are some of the top questions that you get from people when you're interacting with them about working at DEC?
Well, we mainly focus on the benefits of working with us, the job security in it, the paid time off, our health insurance benefits, retirement, our option of telecommuting. We also have a loan forgiveness program, tuition reimbursement. And I also tell people it can also be what you make it as far as when you're coming into the state, you can work 8 to 4 and have that be your set schedule and be done and close the door and leave it at 4.
You don't have to bring your job home.
Right. Or you can make it more.
I didn't get that memo when I
Yeah, that one missed my
Well, the
desk.
higher you get, the less you're able to leave it at 4. But for most of our positions, you're able to do that, and it's you get all the vacation and the time off, and then there's other benefits as far as paternity and maternity leave that we offer. And in human resources, we're here to help everyone figure out what is the best option for them, what works for them based on the time they have in and their title and all of that.
So I know the vast majority of DEC staff come through civil service system. The civil service for folks who don't come from that kind of family, who people don't know about it.
Correct.
I think a lot of the kids who go to SUNY schools do.
Good.
But, for me, moving to New York from Illinois, I had no idea what it was. Like, I got here from Chicago. Somebody's like, oh, you should go take this exam, which I did 20 years ago. Anyway, I didn't know what it was. And so as far as like keeping the pipeline open, can you tell us a little bit about New York Helps and how that fed the pipeline?
Sure. New York Helps has been a program in existence for at least a year now, and it is for people who want to come into our entry-level jobs and who you don't have to take an exam for these positions. They just have minimum qualifications, which are mostly the same as when an exam is given. And we have filled, I believe in the last year, we made 350 new appointments through New York Helps.
Oh, wow.
That's new appointments as well as another 60 promotional appointments that have made through New York Helps. So it's been a wonderful program. The response has been great. All of the other agencies love New York Helps, and it is scheduled to continue through next June as of now.
Fantastic.
But beyond that, civil service is working on a comprehensive revamping of their system to hopefully be easier for people to take exams. They're developing new test centers, more test centers around the state.
Having more exams frequently.
Having more exams more frequently and scoring them hopefully more quickly and getting more turnaround in those. So they're promising that in the next few years, which is exciting to hear for us.
Fingers crossed.
That is.
Yeah, I
So,
hope so.
unlike Erica, I actually grew up in a civil service house. My dad worked for the Department of Taxation and Finance, so I was sort of familiar with it. But when I was in college and went to take my first exam, I really didn't know what to expect. So what do you tell people about the civil service process and what to expect when you go through these exam opportunities that you have to have? And why do we even have exams for these positions?
Well, I tend to be a little more honest when I speak with people one-on-one
We love that on
regarding
this
civil
podcast.
service.
Well, now's the time.
And I understand. I think we have all, if you've been in the state for any length of time, have had a situation where civil service you feel has wronged you or you didn't get in to take an exam. I remember early on in my career, I missed the qualifying period by 2 days for a promotional exam. And it was so early that I was like, oh, they'll let me sit for this exam. It's just 2 days. Like, what reasonable person wouldn't allow me to sit for this exam?
And yet,
And then I
was a
spent
no.
a significant amount of time speaking with civil service, and they explained, well, you know, people who actually paid attention to the dates may not have even applied, so we can't let you take this exam. And it made sense. And the real origin of civil service, and it was created in a response to a corrupt government where people were being appointed based on family, who they knew, friends of theirs. And it was designed, the exam process was designed to create a merit system where only the qualified people could be on this list and appointed to the position. So you couldn't say you knew someone or a family member couldn't be appointed prior to someone who was actually on the list, meeting those minimum qualifications.
Yeah, I think that's why New York Helps is so beneficial and helps so many people just in the general public, because I think they really feel discouraged, especially if they don't qualify for an exam or meet the qualifications for the job spec, or even if they think that they have, you know, a good background and a lot of employment experience, they may not have the degree requirement. So New York Helps definitely has been beneficial for people.
I mean, they still need to meet the minimum
minimum
qualifications for the positions.
qualifications.
There's
But
just not
an
the
exam
exam
they don't have
process.
to sit for. Yeah.
So is the exam multiple choice? Is it like an essay test? Is each one a little different?
Each one's, they're usually multiple choice. And they used to have like scenario exams years ago, but they haven't done those in a while because they're very time consuming and costly, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
what are the hardest jobs to fill here at DEC?
Hardest jobs to fill.
Like, do we post something
and get
then
no responses.
Nothing comes in.
You know, it's strange that you ask that now because we used to have a very difficult time with communication technicians and the dispatchers. We had a horrible time filling them. But the last few postings we've done, I don't know if it's because New York Helps is bringing more people in, but we've had 50, 60 applicants to these positions that we
wow.
never had before.
Well, Alan, I'd like to think it's because of this podcast and the interview we
Well,
did with our
clearly,
dispatchers.
They can.
obviously.
It's the quality.
Yeah.
And I know that we're also we don't have difficulty filling, but we have difficulty finding a robust and substantial candidate field for our environmental conservation police officers and forest rangers, which we're seeing. You know, I think it's across the police board. It's very hard to recruit for police titles right now.
All right, we're going to take one more break here, folks, and come back and learn a little bit more about Alan and Natalie and the uniqueness that they bring to DEC as well.
Join us for Adirondack and Catskill Park Day on Saturday, September 6, 2025. DEC, in partnership with Parks and Trails New York, will host events throughout the Adirondack and Catskill parks for New Yorkers to help improve public lands. Help celebrate and protect New York's unique forest preserve properties by removing invasive species, cleaning up campgrounds, repairing fencing, building trails, and much more. Interested or want to learn more about upcoming opportunities to love our New York lands? Visit dec.ny.gov and check out our events page.
All right, you two. How did you get involved and want to come to DEC first and foremost? Because I take it you're both not an environmental background, but here you are at the best
What
environmental
gave that
agency in the
away,
nation.
Sean?
I don't know. I mean, your bird shirt is pretty sweet, Alan, I must say. But no, seriously, though, you two have actually, well, Natalie, I've just met you recently. Alan, I've known you now for years, and I've always been interested in learning more about both of you because you both have very unique backgrounds in general. You know, I love the social media aspect that you bring, and that's why I wanted to have you on the podcast too, Natalie.
Thank you.
But no, really, what brought you to this agency and what makes you stay?
So for me, kind of like your background, I came from a civil service background. My family, they were all involved with civil service, and they kind of led the path for me that way. When I was a junior in high school, I interned for the Department of Health as a health aide. So that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. And then once I was in my senior year of high school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I graduated from St. Rose in 2021 with my bachelor's in marketing. So I didn't really have the environmental conservation background, but my brother already worked here for the agency. And
the family connection.
So that's how I got the family connection. My brother's a business systems analyst here. And so he was trying to kind of help me find my way while I was in college. It was my senior year, and I couldn't really find anything with marketing because in the private sector, I didn't have, 7 years of social media background. I had plenty of internships managing social media accounts for different nonprofit organizations, but I didn't have the years of experience that they were looking for. So my brother sent me a posting for an office assistant one, and I met the qualifications for it. And thankfully, I was able to get hired as an office assistant in fiscal management. And then after a year, I was fortunate enough after I finished my master's degree in business administration from St. Rose as well in 2022. That's how I got my job here as a human resources specialist. So I never really thought that my career would end up being a human resources specialist. I thought I would do something with social media marketing because that's really all I knew. But yeah, I really enjoyed it here, and kind of doing recruitment kind of does fall in the same category as my background in social media. I get to go to career fairs if I ever want to that are local. I've gone to UAlbany career fairs. I've gone to ones at the Plaza. So it's really great that I get to connect with people and then really networking with them and seeing how it all comes about and, getting them connected with the agency.
And Alan, what about you?
I came to the agency. Well, I started my state career 24 years ago. And it was actually at a New Year's Eve party, and there were a bunch of state workers there, and they said, "Why don't you just apply for the keyboard specialist exam?" And they printed it. We were drinking champagne and having a good time, and
It sounds like quite a party.
and I know,
Yeah.
and then they
said,
break
"Why
out
don't you
the
apply for this
printer,
thing?"
right, and printed out the application, and I foolishly did and sent it in, and 8 months later started my state career. Which speaks to what you were talking about as far as people don't know how civil service works, because I was inundated with multitude of canvas letters, but I had no idea which one to take, what the salary grades meant, anything. So there were some that were traineeships going up to a grade 9, but I had no idea what that even was. So I decided to just go where it sounded fun to be the location of it, which was downtown Albany, and it was the Department of State. And it was a bum decision because it was a grade 5 data entry machine operator, which I started. That was my first job. I quickly transferred out and just kept taking exams after exams and getting promoted, and finally ended up taking the professional careers test, which is what gave me the human resources specialist here at DEC about 20 years ago, and have been just promoted ever since. And I did not want to be in human resources at all. Like, that was not, I don't know anyone whose dream is to be in human resources.
I could introduce you to some folks.
You do know some? Okay. Well, are they looking for employment?
I don't know. I'll have to check.
All
they
right.
might be, actually.
All right.
Should I send them to New York Helps or send them to you?
You can send them to me. I'm happy to talk to them.
Awesome.
But human resources specialist does offer so many ways to incorporate. I originally wanted to be a writer, and there is so much writing involved in our jobs if we allow ourselves to utilize that option, that it's always kept it interesting for me. And I'm less of a people person, so it has challenged me and helped me expand my own social skills and being in human resources. So I've come to enjoy it and actually like it a lot more than I thought I would. In the beginning, it was just a job.
I love that.
And I
Thank you.
bet you get to meet a lot of people in this job, too.
I do, yes. I currently administer the personnel processes for law enforcement and forest protection, but I've worked with air resources, communication, education, engagement, lands and forests, remediation, and there was one other one.
Water.
No, I didn't do water.
Materials management?
Nope.
Minerals.
Maybe there wasn't
Office of
another
Climate Change?
No. I did work a little bit with them, but
Marine resources?
early on, before it was even an office, I think.
Region 1.
All of the
Sustainability?
regions. I mean, all the regions.
We have to have a little fun now.
Region 9, maybe.
Awesome. Buffalo.
Yeah, that's
man.
Western New York.
Yeah, that's good. Obviously, going out recruiting the talent is really important and fundamental to what we do. But then once we're here, obviously, you're helping them through the process. What are some of those processes? I know we do performance evaluations and things like that. What are the most important things people should be aware of once they come to state service? What to expect on some of the processes that play out?
Sure. The performance evaluation process is one of our important ones, and nobody likes it because I know the forms can be cumbersome and complicated, and they're different for each negotiating unit. But it is, as state workers, we can't give raises, we can't give bonuses, we can't give gifts to people. And everyone wants to show employee recognition. Everybody wants to reach out and show how valuable our employees are. The powerful tool we all have as supervisors and managers is that performance evaluation process. And I think a lot of people use that as a sort of negative way to improve someone's performance, and it only comes into play when they have to correct someone's actions. I think we need to sort of flip that perception of it and use it as a positive force and a way of very literally showing how much we appreciate our employees, what they've done through the year. Right. Mm-hmm. And there's a big difference between a sort of canned, copy and pasted perf eval that someone gets 15 years in a row, doesn't even read and signs off on it, and one that is very thoughtful and detailed and researched and that cites specific references to what that employee has actually done throughout the year. And I know it's difficult at the end of the year. We all sort of scramble and can't remember anything. So my one tip of advice for those perf evals is to just keep a running tally of what your direct reports have done, whether it's weekly or monthly, any praise they've received, any letters of commendation, any projects they've worked on, accomplishments, all of that could be listed there. And then at the end of the year, you've got your performance evaluation done and finished.
I'm going to have to give a shout out to two individuals here. Our regional director for Region 8, Tim Walsh, and our regional director for Region 6, Randy Young. I have to sign off on the evaluations that they do as a witness or a reviewer.
Yeah.
And each of them really do that level of detail. They really talk about the strengths of the employee. They really go into the accomplishments. And it's actually inspiring. And I get to learn a little bit more about the people and their management style. And it is a really important lesson. And I'm actually going to take that away with me, Alan, to make sure that I write those things down.
Yeah, and it's showing the employees, like their work isn't going unnoticed. And it, like I said, it motivates them to keep doing what they're doing and better.
It is. And in the HR world, from what I've read recently, for new job seekers and the younger generation coming in, one of the big things they're looking for is feedback. They want to know how they're doing in these jobs. They want to know how they can improve. They want to know when they've done well. And this is a simple, easy, and effective way of really showing our employees what they mean to us, how much we value them.
So one question, we've talked about the civil service process and obviously that, and the state does have civil service employees, but that's not the only pathway to come into state service. What are the other ways in which people can come to an employment in New York State?
You mean in addition to New York Helps?
Yeah.
So in addition to New York Helps, there are a few non-competitive positions, which means there's no exams. There are titles that are difficult to test for. And one example of that is a research scientist. That series is non-competitive, and you just have to meet the minimum qualifications, and you can apply for those jobs. We also have seasonals, which is a great entryway. Camp counselors, camp cooks, a lot of seasonal positions that are a great way for someone in college to sort of spend their summer and get their foot in the door and a feel for what they could do here at DEC.
And we just had our campground episode last session here and learned from some of the seasonal employees who have started as a seasonal and are now running our campgrounds.
It turns out long term,
Yeah, we have at least 2, I think, in our office now who started as seasonals and are now permanent.
So what's been the biggest surprise that you've learned about DEC, or what's one of the crazy or favorite stories that you like to tell folks about this job and about these jobs here at the agency? And the story that you use to be like, you should come to work for us because...
We're not allowed to tell those stories. We're in HR, Sean.
Okay. We've got plenty of our own stories.
I will say what I tell people is HR has a bad rap, and a lot of people think I once heard us referred to as the land of no, which
that's usually my title.
Yeah.
Well, we share that.
Where good ideas come to die.
Right.
Yep.
But we really only hear about sort of the bad side when it's a scandalous thing, when it's, a gossipy thing that people talk about in the elevator and in the hallway. But the majority of work we do in human resources, when it gets done correctly, you just don't hear about it. The hiring of people, the allotment of benefits, when we're helping someone plan for their paternity or maternity leave, when someone's about to retire. We do
the most important milestones in people's lives.
Yeah, the things that go unnoticed.
No big deal.
Right. But nobody talks about that because it just runs smoothly and it gets done. And so I feel like HR, the vast majority of things we do are good, and they support the people who are doing the mission itself. And I think we just need a little better reputation.
A little bit more grace, yeah. You tell them you're an HR specialist and they go, oh, they raise their eyebrows.
I go, oh, you've got all the good stories.
We're good too.
We are.
We're here to help.
And we really enjoy talking to people. Like I always say to people, what I see problems with people getting along in any office is that they're afraid to just have a simple conversation at the beginning and work things out and talk face to face and just see what the real issue is, because so many times it's just a simple misunderstanding and then those things just build internally and become something that they don't need to be.
Yeah. I think that's one of my favorite things about running our recruitment work group. We started sending out employee surveys to all of the new hires, and I get to look through them and see all of the current new employees that we've hired, and they have a lot of good things to say about the agency. So it's good that we have that reputation.
Yeah, and Alan, in our email world now, we've found so many complaints of this person sent me this email, and you read it, and you're like, seems fine to me, and people misinterpret the tones, and that's where you're like, why don't you just go meet them, or pick up the phone?
Or use more emojis.
Right.
Yes.
Too. Yeah, for sure.
End it with a smile.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
That'll always save you.
I prefer the GIFs in general, though.
I know, you are the GIF master.
I try. It's fun.
Ted Lasso. I still recall.
Oh, boy. Okay. So when you're bringing in some new folks to DEC, what are the things about the agency that you most often sort of highlight? What are the things that get people excited and interested?
The benefits. It's always the benefits. Paid time off. You get paid to not work. Who doesn't love that? You get paid holidays. And the stability too, because especially with layoffs and with private sector, it's the unknown. So when you're working for state government, you do have that security and stability, and you kind of don't have to worry so much.
Yep.
Yeah, Natalie does our orientation, so when you start working, she's one of the first people you will get to talk to.
I've done a lot of orientations for people I went to high school with. It's kind of full
circle.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm like, I know you.
That's so great. Now, Natalie, did your background in theater help with those presentations?
It did, yeah. Theater definitely got me out of my shell more because I was a little bit more reserved and shy, but doing theater definitely made me more of a people person. So I love doing orientations and running a recruitment work group. It's fun for me.
I have seen some of your presentations, and they've been quite awesome and lovely.
Thank you.
So kudos.
Yeah, I get to do our internships now, all of our new interns that we have. So it's great meeting new people and just really hyping up the agency and why they should work here.
So, Erica, Did you know, though, that we have one of our guests here is actually an award-winning guest? He was voted the best-dressed man in the Capital Region in 2008.
I'm not sure I knew that, but I'm not surprised.
Oh,
Agreed.
Thank you.
But apparently, he is the reigning title holder because
Wow.
they have not voted one because clearly once
In
you vote for the
16
best...
years,
In
17 years.
I still consider myself the reigning best-dressed man of the
I think
Capital
that's
Region.
fair.
I do too.
Absolutely.
Still
That's-
the crown holder until they name a new one.
And I will bestow upon you another recognition, Alan, and that is the best cookie maker in DEC.
Oh.
We used to have Mary McCleave in the press office.
Yeah, she was a good
Mary
cookie
was
maker.
Great baker overall, but I must say, you make the best cookies that I've had in the Capital
Wow,
Region.
thank you.
And it's pretty
I
awesome.
do
And-
love those
There are a lot of
pistachio
good cookie
cookies.
makers in
I
this
know. They're so
agency,
good.
too, so
well,
that means a lot.
maybe the HR division here could do a cookie contest and see.
We did have one, actually.
We've had
we
an
did.
internal HR cookie contest that I did win for these cookies. So
But the most recent one, I won.
yes,
Oh,
that was the most recent
oh,
one.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
what
title
was
I
the
couldn't
winning
retain.
cookie?
It was caramel turtle cookies.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That
I
actually does
voted
sound
for
good.
it. It was
You
excellent.
did. They were
Delicious.
Well, I will say most guests do bring props and things. You two are the best guests for bringing us food and cookies because we are foodies on this show.
Does not happen enough.
It does not. Usually we're starving as we're talking about our favorite dishes
Yes.
and things. But this was awesome of you to bring in here today and awesome for you two to be on the show and shine a little light on our HR world of DEC and all the great people here that help bring the people on and keep them here and keep this agency running and the most amazing state agency, state government that it is.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Thank you both.
Thank
Thank you.
Wow, Erica, that was a pretty neat episode with two of our HR specialists here in DEC.
Behind the HR curtain.
Definitely, and it's a cool curtain, and there's a lot of fun people. It's not just the front lines folks that are out there, doing field work. It takes a lot of different people here to make this agency run day to day.
That's absolutely right.
What was your favorite part of the episode?
The cookies, Sean. Without
Indeed,
a doubt.
and I can't wait to go eat some of them. But Erica, where is your favorite spot to eat cookies?
Outside.
DEC Does What is a production of DEC's Division of Communication, Education, and Engagement. Our theme music is an original composition by Mike Menza, Environmental Program Specialist with DEC's Division of Fish and Wildlife. Like what you heard on this episode? Please leave a review and share this episode with others. Want to learn more about DEC's wide-ranging efforts to protect New Yorkers and the environment? Visit dec.ny.gov or connect with us on social media. You can find us using @NYSDEC. For more information on DEC Does What, visit dec.ny.gov/podcast.